Hey everybody, it is Jeff Zimpher, your host of another episode of Facebook Live, host of the Mortgage Marketing Radio podcast. If you guys are subscribers, thanks. Comment down below, let me know. Appreciate you listening in. Latest episode was just posted, 2 days ago, and featured my special guest, Catherine Peterson. It was episode 109, How to Use Agent Classes, Video, and Personal Branding to Close 160 Loans. So you can check it out over on the blog, right? MortgageMarketingRadio.com, or wherever fine podcasts are provided. That's where you can find that sucker. All right, so today we're talking about what business are you really in? And that poses a question to you guys. So comment below if you're here. Let me know where you're dialing in from, viewing from, right? Where in the country. And because I want to deal with this question of what business are you really in when we're talking about marketing and promoting yourself to real estate agents. And I'm going to pull something out of the old school here, okay? Whether you guys know it or not, let's see, what year did this book actually get published? 2011, I published this book. Instant Referrals for Mortgage Professionals, a proven system for capturing more agents, closing more loans, and becoming the go-to lender in your area. Self-published it on Amazon, and it was my first attempt at publishing a book, and lots of lessons I've learned. That'll be for another day and time. It's about 150 pages, and the online reviews for that have been really good. But the premise of this book was really my own personal journey and story about when I began originating back in 2003, and struggled during my first year to attract the attention of real estate agents. And get noticed, right? And get deals. And I was approaching it the same way everybody else in my town and my office was. I was, cold calling, door knocking, going out to broker previews and all that kind of stuff. Trying to do pop buys and whatnot. And so, and a lot of it was based on, hey, I got a great company. We close in record time. My rates are awesome. My underwriting is in-house. I can walk, and move your loan to the top of the file with an underwriter. Anybody ever try that one? And here's the thing, the question I always ask loan officers when I present those ideas as a way to market your business, right? Do those ideas work? And the truth is, yes, they do. But they don't work that well. See, because everything works some of the time, right? And when I started, and really what was kind of the motivation behind writing this book after being originator, right? Started in 2003, originated for 10 years. Some things work all the time. Does everything work all the time? I think it depends. Are there some things that consistently work over time? Yes. And what is that? That is the question that we're asking today is what business are you really in? Okay? And so I'm just going to read a quick excerpt from this book because you know what? It's still relevant today, even though it was published like 6 or 7 years ago, and it's still available on Amazon. It's a Kindle as well. And look, I know some of the stuff in here is a little bit outdated, maybe the links and all that, but fret not, coming out with a new book really, really soon, and it's going to be awesome. So what business are you really in? So I would submit to you that you are not just a mortgage loan officer, right, or a mortgage broker, right? And hopefully what I'm sharing with you in these Facebook Lives inspires you to become more, okay? So here's the thing. If you're still banging the drum of a mortgage loan officer, as a matter of fact, I saw a post the other day on LinkedIn, and maybe the individual is watching this. And so the post on LinkedIn was a big red stop sign that said, stop renting. That's all it said. A big red stop sign, white letters, stop renting. Nothing else. And I'm like, I actually made a comment to this individual, and I said, listen, all due respect, my friend, but it would be useful for you and your brand if you could provide some context and some education around stop renting. Why? Right? What is some data that would support why or renting is not as good as owning, perhaps, right? Why does it financially make sense for certain people? And that I said to this individual, I know you can do better. I know you can do better. And so the point I'm trying to get to is that, look, it's survival of the fittest out there, right? Not only survival of the fittest, but it's actually those who adapt the most quickly are the ones who survive, right? And we are now in a space and time in our industry where you've got to adapt and pivot if you want to not just survive, but thrive. So here's what I propose to you. The real business, remember the question, what business are you really in? The real business you must be in is in the marketing and systems business that drives and cultivates relationships. So once again, the business I believe you got to be in is marketing and systems that drives that drives and cultivates relationships, right? That leads to business. You're in the business of building relationships. You're in the business of adding value. All right, so let me tell you what I did just before getting here to the office. Okay, over the last 2 days, I've met with multiple real estate agents in their offices, okay? I was invited in by a title rep to come in and speak to these real estate agents because they needed help. They needed help in adapting, right? They needed help in pivoting to this new world that we live in, to better understanding digital marketing, social media, building a personal brand and things like that. And the truth is, it's the same concepts, the same ideas you need help with, I need help with. We all need help with that. It's the world we live in. And as I'm sitting there around the table talking to these people, and they're sharing with me that, they don't feel comfortable, perhaps, putting themselves out there on social media. They have a lot of questions around it. They're not sure which platforms to use, how to attract their right audience, and so forth. And so what it really helped me realize was that in the business of relationships, which is what we're in, right? You've heard the cliche, right? It's people who know, like, and trust you, okay? Here's the bottom line. If I had approached those people, those real estate agents, with the traditional of, hey, I have great underwriting, I close on time, and all that kind of stuff, I guarantee you that I wouldn't have been invited into their office. I guarantee you that I wouldn't be having conversations with the broker. I guarantee you it wouldn't open up the trust, their guard wouldn't be put down, and they wouldn't start to be asking me about how we can partner together. And the reason being is because it starts with helping, right? Helping people solve problems. It helps with pouring into people. And so I believe, as I said at the start of this, right, what's the business you're in? You're in the business of marketing, right? Let me just take it from the book again. Marketing and systems that drive and cultivates relationships, right? Now, the question is, how do you market yourself to drive relationships? How do you use systems that cultivate and drive relationships that lead to business? Well, I want to give you a shout out from one of my he's quickly becoming a friend, but also one of my clients. He's a member of our Mortgage Marketing Pro membership. And Brent Gist, if you're listening and watching, what's up? Shout out to you, my brother. Free t-shirt coming your way. So here's what Brent says. This is just on February 27th. I just got done hosting my first class. It went freaking amazing. And I actually shared this up on IGTV Live yesterday. This is for you who haven't seen or heard this. So now the real work begins. He says, thanks for putting all this together, because if it wasn't for your training and listening to your podcasts, I would have given up on real estate months ago and settled for another career in something less rewarding. Seriously, you've given me hope again on how a young noob like myself can give actual value to the industry and not be the rate sheets and donut guy that agents laugh at. Folks, Brent, first of all, kudos to you. Thank you to you. You're the one who's doing all the work. Brent and some of these other folks I've talked about in some of these Facebook Lives, Graham Pruitt, and the others, Michelle Otto, Mr. Barrett, you know who you are, okay? These folks are getting invited in now to have the same conversation I just described to you with real estate agents, where they're saying, man, what you presented today was so awesome. Can you come to our office and can we talk a little bit more about that? Or I'd love you to present to my team. Or, hey, I'm a top 10 producer, agent in the area, and I've learned more today in the last 45 minutes than I have in a long time. You're the kind of person that I want to team up with. You're the kind of person that I feel compelled to reward, to thank you, to reciprocate, to send my business to. How do you do that? You do that by using systems, right, that drive relationships, that lead to referrals. And those systems are adding value to people, teaching people. Now, I don't care, right? There's multiple ways to do that, right? You can share videos, you can do, text videos to people, you post content online on your Facebook page and social media and YouTube and all that kind of stuff. And that is all relevant and useful. But If you really want to accelerate your results, your success with real estate agents, you want to produce a quantum leap. You want to become more well-known. You want to build that know, like, and trust factor much more quickly. It's when you take the online offline and you start to pour into people face to face, because all this wonderful stuff about Instagram and chat, snap filters and all that crazy stuff, and that's all well and good, but still people today are craving that human touch, that human connection, right? As a matter of fact, there's a book I'm reading, and I actually had a good fortune of talking to this author, Mark Schaefer, the other day. Going to have him on the podcast in the near future. This is his latest book, Marketing Rebellion. The most human company wins. The most human company wins. And I've got some earmarked notes in here. I'm not going to go through this right now, but it's a book I suggest you get if you really want to understand what's happening today in the world of marketing and what gets people to respond and engaged and things like that. So more nuggets coming from that. But look, it's the human connection that people crave, and it's the face-to-face connection that you can never replace. What's up, Carlos? How you doing, man? Thanks for watching. Any questions?